Hey there, I'm Jim Rohn and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that might just flip everything you think you know about relationships upside down. Have you ever felt like someone you care about keeps pushing you away, no matter how hard you try to get close? Maybe they shut down when things get real, or they vanish just when you thought you were breaking through. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Millions of people wrestle with this every day. And here's the kicker, it's not your fault. It's not even about you, it's about them and something deep inside their mind they might not even see. We're talking about avoidance. You know those people who crave connection but run from it like it's a wildfire? Yeah, them. Here's the question that's going to keep you hooked. Why do they need you? Yes, you, more than they'll ever admit. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover the hidden psychology behind their push-pull game, why it leaves you feeling lost, and most importantly, how you might just hold the key to cracking their emotional code. This isn't just theory, it's real, raw, and maybe even a little personal for me too. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start understanding, hit that play button and let's unravel this together. Oh, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button below, because every week I'm breaking down the messy, beautiful chaos of the human mind, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's get into it. Why does an avoidant need you? The answer's closer than you think. Alright, let's dive deeper into this story with a fresh twist. Same core ideas, but simpler, more engaging, and completely reimagined. Meet Sarah. Don't worry, that's not her real name. I've switched it up for this video. Sarah came to me totally drained, like she'd been running an emotional marathon with no finish line. She'd been seeing this guy, let's call him Mike, for about 8 months. At first, it was like a fairy tale. Mike was all charm, sweet gestures, late-night talks, the works. She thought she'd hit the jackpot. But then, around the 4-month mark, the vibe shifted. Sarah started opening up, sharing her feelings, hoping to build something deeper. And what did Mike do? He'd pull back, like she'd just asked him to sign a lifetime contract. She'd try to spark a real conversation, something meaningful, and he'd either crack a joke or dodge it like a pro. The dates, they dried up. Suddenly, Mike was swamped with excuses. When Sarah finally mustered the courage to ask where things were headed, he hit her with, "Can't we just keep it chill? Why put a label on it?" Ouch! Her heart sank. She was left spinning, hurt, confused, and wondering what she'd done wrong. But here's the wild part. Mike kept coming back. Every time she thought he was gone for good, he'd pop up with a text or a rare fleeting moment of vulnerability. It was just enough to keep her hooked. Sarah told me she felt like he needed her somehow, like she was his anchor. But the second things got too real, poof, he'd vanish into thin air. It was like he wanted her close, but only on his terms. Sound intriguing? Stick around, because this push and pull dance isn't random. It's a clue to why someone like Mike, an avoidant, might need someone like Sarah more than he'll ever let on. Let's unpack it. Sarah and Mike were trying to figure out what was really going on with someone who always seemed to pull away. Inside the mind of an avoidant person, closeness feels like a red flag to their nervous system. They might genuinely like you, often they do, but that same connection can spark a hidden fear of losing their freedom, getting overwhelmed, facing judgment, or even being trapped. So while they crave things like companionship, warmth, or the comfort you bring, accepting it doesn't come easy. It's as if they're starving for something but terrified to reach for it, like wanting a hug yet flinching when it's offered. Emily once shared how she noticed a shift in her partner. When she stopped pushing him, he softened. He'd get cuddly or sweet after she gave him space, but those moments were fleeting, like a dance where he'd step closer only to spin away again soon after. Avoidant types often circle back after some distance, not always to play games, but because being around you steadies them in a way they can't manage alone. You bring a kind of peace they don't even know how to name. They might not say, "I've missed you," outright, but suddenly they're there, showing up out of the blue. It's not always about control or tricks. It's more like they're drawn to the calm you offer, even if they can't fully settle into it. This push and pull can feel exhausting, like chasing a shadow that keeps slipping away. One day they're warm and present, the next they're distant, leaving you wondering what changed. For Sarah and Mike, it was a puzzle. Why does someone who seems to need you also act like they don't? The answer lies in that strange mix of longing and fear, a tug-of-war between wanting to belong and needing to break free. They don't mean to confuse you, it's just how their inner world works, a quiet storm they're still learning to navigate. When someone with an avoidant nature starts to let you in, don't expect a flood of heartfelt confessions or dramatic speeches. Instead, it's the little things that sneak out. A quiet story about their childhood, a quick mention of a tough day at work, or even just a casual comment about how they're feeling. These aren't throwaway moments. They're their way of reaching out, like dropping breadcrumbs to show you they're trying. Sometimes it's not even about words. Just sitting close to you or pitching in with small tasks can be their version of closeness. They might not say much, but they stick around, and that's their signal. For them, caring often shows up in what they do rather than what they say. Emotional intimacy isn't easy, it's like a language they're still learning, so they lean on actions to bridge the gap. Recognizing these subtle moves as genuine attempts to connect, even through their hesitation, is key. It's not random, it's how they navigate their fears. Many avoidant people grew up in places where feelings were brushed off or even mocked. Imagine being a kid who's told toughen up every time you cry. Over time, you'd learn to keep it all locked away too. So when they hover nearby or fix something for you without being asked, it's not just habit, it's effort. They're saying I'm here in a way that feels safe for them. Sarah once noticed Mike doing this. He'd linger after a fight, not talking much, but he'd tidy up or grab her a coffee. It wasn't a big apology, but it was his way of mending things. Understanding this takes patience. You've got to see past the silence to the meaning behind it. Their past taught them emotions can be a minefield, so when they share a sliver of themselves or stick close, it's a quiet victory. They're not cold, they're just wired to guard their heart, and these small openings are how they let the light in. Maybe they grew up hearing that standing on your own was the ultimate prize. Dependence was a flaw to avoid at all costs. Or perhaps the people raising them were distant, unpredictable, or too tangled in their own mess to offer steady support. As kids, they pieced it together. To stay safe, you rely on yourself. Keep your needs small, and don't lean too hard on anyone. That lesson didn't just fade away, it carved a groove that follows them into adulthood, shaping how they handle closeness, even now. So when they meet someone who feels like a safe harbor, it's not all smooth sailing inside. That little kid in them starts freaking out, whispering, "What if I lose who I am? What if needing them makes me fragile?" The very thing they secretly yearn for, a real deep bond, feels like it could unravel everything they've built to protect themselves. It's wild. The warmth, steadiness, and emotional richness you bring are exactly what they crave, yet it's also what sets off their inner alarm bells. This tug-of-war between wanting you close and fearing what that means keeps them spinning. They pull away, then drift back. Picture it like a moth drawn to a flame. They're hooked on the glow, your consistency, your depth, but they've learned flames can burn, so they flutter just out of reach. Sarah saw it with Mike. He'd get cozy after a fight, soaking in her calm, only to bolt when it felt too real. It's not that they don't want you, it's that their old instincts scream, "survive," louder than their heart says, "stay." That conflict is their quiet battle, and their coming and going isn't about you. It's them wrestling with a past that taught them love might cost too much. Still, they keep circling back because something in you calls to them, a promise of peace they're too scared to fully grab, but too drawn to ignore. It doesn't always make sense, but it's buried deep in their wiring. Take Sarah, for instance. She was worn out. She didn't want to keep chasing Mike. She wanted to feel chosen, not like she was begging for his attention. So we worked together to build something new, a sense of emotional safety, not just for Mike, but for her too. She stopped overdoing it. No more endless explaining or trying to win him over. Instead, she started speaking plainly, with confidence and self-respect. She'd say things like, "I love having you around, but I need emotional clarity and effort from both of us." If you're not sure what you want, I get it, but I have to be real about what I'm after. That line in the sand didn't scare Mike off. If anything, it flipped a switch. Suddenly, he wasn't dealing with someone desperate to fix him or willing to lose herself in the process. Sarah gave him room to breathe, not pressure to perform. And within a week, things shifted. Mike started opening up more. He'd ask about her day with real curiosity, not just small talk. He suggested date nights again, even signed up for therapy. Then one day, he dropped a line that stuck with her. "I don't want to lose you. Being with you is the only time I feel steady, even if I act like it's not." That hit home. Sarah's steady presence was giving him what avoidants quietly ache for: stability, acceptance, a warmth they can lean into without panic. She wasn't trying to crack him open, she was just there, solid and real. For Mike, she became a mirror, reflecting what safe love could look like, even if he couldn't quite put it into words. It's not that he didn't feel it before, he just didn't know how to trust it. With her, he got a taste of connection that didn't demand he surrender himself, a calm he couldn't find solo. Sarah didn't just change the game for him, she showed him a way to feel anchored without feeling trapped. And that's what started pulling him closer. Here's the big takeaway. This whole thing only works if you don't lose yourself trying to make it happen. If you shrink down, hush up your own needs, or tiptoe around just to keep things smooth, the balance tips. And not in a good way. When that happens, even the avoidant person misses out on what they're quietly craving: your rock-solid emotional presence. See, real growth in a relationship between someone avoidant and someone secure doesn't come from you bending over back. It's about showing up steady without pushing, setting gentle but firm boundaries, and letting them choose whether to step closer or back off. They might lean on you, not to fix their messes or swoop in like a hero, but because your vibe, your reliability, your calm way of being feels like a breath of fresh air they can't get anywhere else. When you stay rooted in your own worth, that's when the real magic has room to spark. It's not about chasing them down or proving you're enough. It's about being a lighthouse, not a lifeboat. You stand tall, clear about what you need to, and that gives the connection a shot at becoming something deeper, something mutual. Sarah learned this with Mike. She stopped twisting herself into knots to keep him comfortable and started owning her space. She'd say what she wanted, nothing harsh, just real, and then let him figure out his next move. And you know what? That's when he started stepping up, not because she demanded it, but because her strength gave him something solid to lean into. Think of it like this: an avoidant person might not say "I need you" out loud, but they feel it in their bones when you're around. Your consistency is like oxygen. They don't always know how to ask for it, but they notice when it's there. So, here's a question for you. Have you ever sensed an avoidant person relying on you, even if they'd never admit it? Maybe they lingered a little longer or showed up just when you thought they'd checked out. What kept you steady in those moments? For Sarah, it was knowing she didn't have to dim her light to keep Mike close. She could shine and still let him find his way. That's the sweet spot. You don't abandon yourself, and they get a chance to feel what safe connection is like. Drop your thoughts below. What's your story with this? What's worked for you when the push-pull gets real? In the end, relationships with avoidant people like Sarah and Mike's journey teach us that connection isn't about forcing closeness or losing yourself to keep someone around. It's about standing firm in who you are, offering a steady presence, and letting them meet you halfway when they're ready. Their quiet need for your warmth and stability runs deep, even if it hides behind their fears. By holding your ground with kindness and clarity, you create space for something real to grow. Not just for them, but for you too. It's a delicate balance, but when it works, it's a beautiful reminder that love doesn't have to be a chase. It can be a choice. Thank you so much for watching this video and joining me on this exploration of the avoidant heart. I'm grateful for every one of you who took the time to dive in with me. If you found this helpful or it sparked some thoughts, please hit that subscribe button. It means the world to keep growing this community together. And Don't forget to drop a comment below. Share your experiences, your wins, or even your struggles with this push and pull dynamic. I'd love to hear what's on your mind and keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.